to my channel, Wrapped Up in Film. I'm Zoe and I'm going to be reviewing The Dressmaker, starring Kate Winslet, Liam Hemsworth and Judy Davis, with a fantastic supporting cast of Hugo Weaving and Sarah Snook. Directed by an Australian director called Jocelyn Moorhouse, and she's done such films as 1,000 Acres and How to Make an American Quilt. Based on the best-selling novel by Rosalie Ham. So the movie is set in a very small town in rural Australia, basically in the middle of nowhere. And it's all about a character called Tilly. She's sort of expelled, driven away from her hometown when she was younger, and since then she's been living in London and travelling Europe, and she's become cultured and fancy and is looking all fabulous, and she decides to head back to where it all began, and first of all look after her sort of crazy mother and confront the mysteries from her past. The movie begins with Kate Winslet getting off the train, looking absolutely fabulous. Gorgeous, show-stopping dress, bright red lipstick, and she slams her sewing machine on the ground and she sort of looks around her shitty old town, and the camera zooms in her face and she's like, I'm back, and I mean business. And it's brilliant. And then she sort of sees everyone at this rugby match, and all the guys are drooling over her. Nobody recognises her, so everyone's like, who is this? All the girls want to know where her dresses are from, and it's a great opening to the film. Whilst rebuilding the relationship with her mother, she catches the eye of local hunk Teddy, of course played by Liam Hemsworth. An old childhood friend called Gertrude approaches Tilly and asks for some help. She wants to look like her, you know, she's seen all these gorgeous dresses that she makes and she wants one for herself. And then you've got this really cool scene where she goes to the local dance and everyone is like, oh my God, who helped you with that dress? Who made that dress? Blah, blah, blah. Her makeup looks incredible. And of course, before Tilly knows it, all the women from the town are knocking at her door and asking her to make them these sort of incredibly flamboyant and stylish dresses. So the story unfolds from there. This movie gives you a little bit of everything. We've got romance, you've got tragedy, you've got mystery, but most of all, you have got downright wackiness. This film is just crazy. I mean, I went to cinema expecting to see a sort of love story, Nicholas Sparks, feel-good type film. That it is not. It's actually the complete opposite. It's so quirky and it's very creative and imaginative. It's sort of like turning up to some kind of crazy Mad Hatter's tea party in the middle of the outback. All the characters are extremely sort of overplayed and theatrical. Lots of very brightly coloured makeup. All the costumes, of course, you know, The Dressmaker. The costumes are just outstanding. The movie is co-written by PJ Hogan, who has also directed and written Muriel's Wedding. And you can kind of see that he's injected some of that sort of quirky Australian humour into the movie. Okay, we have to just take a minute and talk about Hugo Weaving's performance. Now, I remember him from films such as The Matrix, and he plays a total opposite type of character in this movie. He plays this sort of like cross-dressing policeman who, every time he goes through Tilly's materials that she's collected from, you know, all over Europe, he sort of seems to like be coming in his pants and having these like total orgasmic moments, and it's just hilarious. He's thoroughly entertaining throughout the film, and you have these scenes with him and Judy Davis, who, again, playing this sort of crazy mother type, she's really fantastic. I mean, you've got the scenes of all three of them together along with Kate Winslet, and they're drinking and they're sort of dancing around the house and they're playing with all the material, and it's just wacky. It's wacky, but it works so well. It's just absolute gold. Like I mentioned before, we've got this romance blossoming between Tilly's character and Teddy, played by Liam Hemsworth. I mean, for me, it just didn't seem believable enough. You've got this really huge age gap going on. And I just didn't feel there was the right emotion there. There was no real chemistry for me. There's some really dark tragedies that happen in this film. And because this movie is painted as a black comedy, the seriousness of that just didn't seem to come across. I mean, it wasn't as sort of hard-hitting as maybe the director intended it to be. Hats off to Jocelyn Moorhouse for the direction of this film. I mean, this could not have been an easy movie to direct. She's taken a really kind of tricky script and made it work very well on screen. And there were moments in the movie where it tended to lose its footing a little bit, and you sort of sit there going, okay, well, what's happening now? And then, you know, bam, pulls it back in. You're like, oh, okay, right, now what's happening now? And she did, you know, she did have a really sort of strong theme running throughout the film, and the whole thing was just boosted with the really great music. So it flowed, and she sort of held it together well. And, you know, it's unlike any other movie that she's directed before. So I really admire her for that. And the fact that she's Australian too, so, you know, she's got that to offer as well. Yeah, like hats off to her, and she's brilliant. Why would you want to see this movie? Well, let me tell you this. As soon as I sat down in the cinema, I was catapulted off onto a roller coaster of all different types of emotion. You've got comedy, you've got mystery, you've got romance. Is this a chick flick? Is this film for women? I don't know. I think there's something for everyone in this movie. There's one thing it is, and it's very, very funny. I mean, the people in the cinema were just absolutely westing themselves. I was totally cracking up at Hugo Weaving's performance. And then we've got Sarah Snook. She's great. You know, she gave a very captivating performance in Predestination. And if you haven't seen that, guys, make sure you put it on your list, because it's definitely one to watch. So I think that brings me to my rating. I'm going to rate this movie pretty highly, actually. I'm going to give it an 82%. That's a wrap, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Can you please subscribe to my channel down below? I'm going to be doing loads more reviews. Stay tuned for the next one.